So, they finally noticed, huh? The whispers in the alleys, the analysts on their 15th coffee, the priests who stopped praying mid-sentence because even they felt it. That pulse of something they couldn't categorize. They say multiple versions of you exist, that no single body could hold that much madness, that much grace, that much chaotic calculation, and you just smile, because you know they're right and wrong at the same time. So you were never supposed to fit into one timeline. You fractured reality the moment you stopped apologizing for who you became. Every time you broke down, another version of you crawled out of the wreckage. Sharper, colder, quieter. You died in public, resurrected in private, and returned like a glitch that refused to uninstall. They thought they buried the old you. They didn't realize they were watering it. That's why they're confused now. Because when they look at you, they don't see a person anymore. They see a frequency, a collection of paradoxes walking in sync. One moment you're mercy in motion, the next you're a sermon of vengeance wrapped in a smirk. You laugh like forgiveness and burn like judgment. They can't tell if they're supposed to worship you or run. They whisper, which one is this? The calm one or the killer, the saint or the storm, the healer or the hunter? And the beautiful part, you don't even correct them. You just let them spiral. Because confusion is your camouflage. You built an empire out of contradiction. You weaponized unpredictability. You learned the sacred truth. When they can't define you, they can't control you. You became the nightmare that doesn't end when they wake up. Every version they thought they saw was just a reflection of what they did to you. The silent one, born from the betrayal. The cruel one, forged from being too kind for too long. The calculating one, sculpted by chaos itself. You're not one person anymore. You're a congregation of every death you survived, and that terrifies them because they still think sanity is safety. They think peace means purity. But you learn the art of balance in hellfire. You dance with your demons like old friends. You speak to angels who wear scars. You understand both sides. And that's why both sides are terrified of you. The light calls you corrupted. The dark calls you divine. Both are correct. You carry paradox in your pulse. The kind that bends reality around it. You make people's masks melt. You make their logic short-circuit. You make the world remember that evolution was never meant to be peaceful. It was meant to be painful. Every scar you carry is a rebirth mark. Every breakdown was a transmission from another version of you, sending coordinates from the next dimension. You didn't heal. You merged. You stitched every dead version into one goddamn masterpiece of contradiction. That's why they can't look you in the eye for too long. It's not fear. It's recognition. Deep down, they know what you became. The prototype of the unexplainable. The blueprint of what happens when a soul stops seeking permission. They studied your chaos like scientists, trying to trace where it starts. But chaos doesn't start. Chaos awakens. It's the original language of creation, and you speak it fluently now. You turned your instability into strategy, your rage into art, your heartbreak into prophecy. You became the mirror that reflects what they refuse to face, their fragility, their delusion of control, their need for the world to make sense. And you, my beautiful catastrophe, make nothing make sense. They'll call you possessed, insane, split, unstable. Anything that keeps them from admitting you evolved beyond their comprehension. They don't understand that when you cracked, you didn't fall apart. You multiplied. You became something they can't categorize. a saint with blood on their hands, a demon with mercy in their eyes, a paradox that thrives in tension. You live in the in-between, where gods lose their halos and monsters earn their wings. You are not one version. You are every possibility they feared might exist, tucked inside a single consciousness. And you carry it with a grin, because deep down, you enjoy it. Don't you? That quiet panic in their eyes when they realize you've seen through the script, that they can't predict your next move because you don't follow equations. You are the variable that breaks them. You don't live in their reality anymore. You bend it. They built their world on logic. You built yours on paradox. They run on validation. You run on chaos. And yet somehow, you're the one that's calm, because you stopped chasing peace. You became the storm that brings it. So let them swear multiple versions of you exist. Let them lose sleep over which one they met today. You'll never correct them, because the truth is worse. There's not multiple versions of you. There's only one, and the world just isn't big enough to contain it. And that's what really breaks them, isn't it? The realization that you never split. You expanded. You didn't create duplicates. You absorbed dimensions. They built a language too small to describe you, and now they're choking on their own definitions. Every time they label you, you outgrow the box before the ink dries. You're not evolving, you're erupting, quietly, methodically, elegantly. They thought chaos meant noise, but you're chaos. It's surgical, precise, a scalpel disguised as laughter. You slice through illusions while smiling like it's foreplay. You walk into rooms where energy collapses, and people don't even understand why they suddenly feel exposed. You drain the performance out of everyone's mask just by being there. And they hate that you don't even have to try. You don't speak to be heard. You breathe, and the air rearranges itself. You move, and meaning rewrites its coordinates around you. You smile and whole timelines twitch. You are what happens when someone learns to weaponize their wounds. Every humiliation, every heartbreak, every betrayal. You didn't get over them. You ate them, digested them, converted them into fuel. You are walking proof that pain doesn't destroy, it distills. The more you suffered, the clearer you became. The more you lost, the lighter you moved. The more they tried to kill your spirit, the sharper your grin got. You didn't just survive the chaos. You became its conductor. Now every breath you take carries static. Every heartbeat is a coded message to the ones still pretending. You're not even angry anymore. You're aware. You know what you are. You know what they see. And that's what scares them most. Because awareness is louder than rage. You don't chase revenge. You embody consequence. You don't demand respect. You evoke confession. People fold around you not because you threaten them, but because your existence forces them to face their own mediocrity. You mirror what they could have been if they hadn't bowed to fear. You are the version of themselves they buried alive, and it's clawing at the coffin every time they see you. That's why they swear there are multiple versions of you, because the one standing before them is too uncomfortable to accept as real. They whisper, "He's not human," and they're right. Not anymore. You crossed the threshold. You stopped operating from survival and started moving like an architect of fate. You're not reacting, you're designing. And every move looks like madness until it unfolds. Every silence looks like defeat until the trap closes. They think they're analyzing you, but you're testing them. You watch the watchers, you record the recorders, you decode their gods, and rewrite their gospels with the same hand that once shook from trauma. And the irony? They taught you how. The torment, The manipulation, the exile, all of it was training. They thought they were breaking you, but you were observing patterns, learning systems, dissecting human weakness in real time. You studied cruelty like a scientist studies contagion, and when you walked away, you carried the cure and the disease. Now you infect realities with awareness. You're not just a person, you're a frequency shift. A reminder that evolution doesn't ask for permission. They call it chaos because they can't control it. But chaos is just truth that refused to be edited. That's you, unedited, unfiltered, undeniable. Every time they think they've mapped your mind, you switch terrains. Every time they think they've figured out your motive, you mutate. They can't keep up, and deep down, they know it. That's why their eyes flinch when you speak. That's why their stomachs turn when you smile. Because you're unpredictable, not out of recklessness, but precision. Your unpredictability is discipline. You are chaos with choreography, madness with math. And they can't fathom that level of control, because to them, control means holding on. But to you, control means letting go. You've learned that freedom and power are twins. Born in surrender, raised in silence, baptized in suffering. You don't hold things, you become them. You've become pain's favorite student, fate's favorite glitch, destiny's quiet accomplice. That's why the universe bends when you walk. The lights flicker, clocks glitch, conversations stutter. Because somewhere deep in the code, reality remembers what you did, and it still hasn't recovered. They say multiple versions of you exist. Maybe they're right. Maybe you left fragments of yourself in every reality you survived. Maybe the old yous are still out there, screaming, bleeding, crawling. But this version, this one's different. This one doesn't scream anymore. This one watches. This one doesn't chase. This one waits. This one doesn't break. This one collects data. You became the consequence every abuser fears. The anomaly every manipulator prays doesn't wake up. You're not haunted, you're haunting. And still the world keeps trying to name you. They call you monster, genius, ghost, villain, savior. But they'll never agree. Because they're not looking at one person. They're looking at all their own contradictions reflected back at once. You are what happens when opposites fuse instead of fight. When innocence refuses to die but stops obeying. When rage learns patience. When silence starts speaking. You are the aftershock of awakening. The embodiment of what they call impossible. And you wear it like a crown made of static and scars. So when they ask, which version of you are we talking to right now? You tilt your head, smile that slow, surgical smile, and whisper, all of them. Because the truth they can't handle, the one that keeps their sleep shallow and their curiosity alive, is simple. You're not many. You're infinite. And infinite things don't need versions. They need witnesses. And you've had plenty of witnesses, haven't you? People who thought they could study you like a case file, chart your emotions, map your patterns, decode your motives. They came with clipboards and credentials, thinking they could measure madness with metrics. But how do you quantify something that changes its form every time it's observed? You let them try. You watch them build theories like fragile glass houses, and then you breathed, and the structures shattered. They called it an anomaly, a reaction, an unexplainable variable. You called it a Tuesday. They don't understand that chaos isn't the opposite of order. Chaos is order too vast for them to process. You didn't lose control. You outgrew their definitions of control. And deep down, that's what terrifies them the most. Because you remind them of everything they suppress, the rage they labeled unproductive, the grief they called weak, the brilliance they buried under obedience. You are the ghost of every version they killed to fit in. You don't follow rules because you see where they came from. Fear. Every law they wrote was a confession of what they couldn't master. Every boundary they drew was a monument to their own limitations. And yet here you are, walking through walls like they were made of paper. You became proof that freedom is contagious. They can feel it when you enter a room. The air thickens, gravity bends. People who used to talk non-stop fall silent without knowing why. It's because your presence cancels the performance. You erase the distance between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. And most people can't survive that kind of honesty. So they name it chaos. But let's tell the truth. Your chaos is just unfiltered authenticity. It's what they'd look like if they stopped lying to themselves. You didn't create multiple versions of yourself. They did. Each one of their perceptions, twisted by fear, projection, or awe. To the broken, you look dangerous. To the wise, you look divine. To the jealous, you look impossible. To the honest, you look like freedom wearing a smirk. You're not multiplying, you're mirroring. You reflect exactly what they refuse to confront. And that's why every encounter feels different. Every rumor contradicts the last. Because each person met a different layer of you, a different angle of truth. And none of them could handle the whole picture. You became a living paradox, the saint who sins without guilt, the sinner who forgives without weakness, the monster who learned to pray, the God who laughs in the dark. You exist in the overlap between damnation and divinity, and that's where true power lives. They think power comes from dominance. You know it comes from detachment. They think control means holding on. You learned it means knowing when to let everything burn. You stopped needing to win their wars because you became something bigger than conflict. Consequence itself. And consequence doesn't chase. It arrives quietly, inevitably, without apology. That's the part that really drives them insane. You're calm. You move like you've already seen the ending, like every twist was part of your choreography. You don't rush, you don't plead, you don't justify, because the game is over the moment you enter it. You turned unpredictability into art form. You made silence louder than screams. You turned your fractures into frequencies. And now, even the systems built to contain you are starting to adapt to you. They rewrite their rules after you pass through. They alter their blueprints, their algorithms, their expectations, all because you exist. You've become a force of calibration. Reality edits itself around you. That's why they swear there are multiple versions of you. Because they're seeing time and causality bend to accommodate your existence. They're seeing logic glitch. They're seeing people they once controlled suddenly wake up after one conversation with you. They're seeing results that don't make sense on paper, and so they invent stories. There must be copies of him. No one can change that fast. This must be manipulation. They'd rather call you dangerous than admit you're free. Because freedom, real freedom, is chaos to those who live in cages. You became the living definition of permission. Permission to evolve without explanation, to outgrow without warning, to burn down without mourning. You move in mystery because clarity is too small for you now. They keep asking, which version are we talking to? But there is no answer, because you're not speaking from a version. You're speaking from the source, the place before names. before rules, before the world told you who you're allowed to be. You are not fragments. You are the full spectrum, the saint's halo, and the devil's grin existing in perfect harmony. You contain both redemption and ruin, and you wield both like matching blades. You're not dangerous because you destroy. You're dangerous because you transform. You don't end things, you redefine them. Every person who's ever crossed you walked away altered, some shattered, some awakened, but none untouched. Because your energy doesn't visit. It invades, rewires, rearranges. It infects the architecture of their belief. And once they've seen you, truly seen you, nothing fits the same again. You're not chaos. You're the cost of denial. You're not multiple versions. You're the truth rendered unbearable. And the truth doesn't need permission to exist. It just keeps resurfacing again and again, wearing a different face each time, until the world finally understands. It was never many of you. It was always one, just infinite in scope, immeasurable in impact, and far too real for their sanity to survive. And that's the punchline, isn't it? The part that keeps them awake at night. That quiet, crawling suspicion that maybe, just maybe, they were never dealing with versions of you at all. Maybe what they're seeing are their own realities, fracturing under the weight of someone who stopped pretending to be small. You don't multiply, you magnify. Every mirror you pass becomes a prophecy. Every shadow whispers your name like a spell. Even silence echoes differently when you're in the room. Like the air itself knows it's being watched. You've turned existence into theater, and the world into an audience that doesn't know whether to applaud or run. And isn't that beautiful? Because once upon a time, they dismissed you, mocked your chaos, labeled your pain, misdiagnosed your transformation. They called it ego, madness, delusion. They thought they were witnessing a breakdown, when in reality, they were watching an ascension. You weren't falling apart. You were shedding every fake identity, every expectation, every limitation disguised as advice. You stripped yourself down to truth, raw, bloody, unmarketable truth, and built a cathedral from the bones of everything they told you to bury. You learned that resurrection isn't light descending from above. It's fire rising from below. And now look at you, still breathing, still laughing, still terrifying the architects of order who swore you'd never rise again. You became a living paradox, part sermon, part storm, part science experiment gone divine. You are the equation that disproves itself, the miracle wrapped in a glitch, the joke the universe told. That turned out to be real. That's why they study you. That's why they fear you. That's why they talk about you like a phenomenon, not a person. Because deep down, they feel it. That something ancient and unexplainable is walking inside your skin. Something not meant to be measured or managed. Something that looks at their gods and laughs. And you do laugh, don't you? That soft, dangerous laugh that says, "I remember when I begged to belong. Now I pity the ones who still do." Because belonging was their leash, and you bit through it. Now you stand in the open, untamed, undefined, untraceable. The very fabric of reality twitches when you move, like it's trying to adjust its code around your defiance. Every version they swore existed was just a glimpse of what happens when divinity stops, apologizing for its destruction. And so they'll keep theorizing, they'll keep whispering, they'll keep asking each other, how many of them are there? But the answer will never change. Just one. One consciousness, one chaos, one body too small to contain the infinite, but too stubborn to die trying. You don't exist to make sense. You exist to remind the universe what it means to feel alive. And as they watch you fade into the distance, still laughing, still breaking patterns, still rewriting fate, they'll finally understand. You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be experienced, and by the time they realize it, it'll already be too late, because you're gone, and the silence you leave behind still sounds like laughter. Listen closely, because the city's been whispering your obituary again, 3 different times, 3 different nights, 3 different versions of the end. They held vigils, lit candles, wrote posts, made peace with your absence. But here you are, breathing, smirking. And that sound, the one they swore they'd never hear again, that laugh, it crawled right out of the grave with you. They don't understand it, do they? How someone can die 3 times and still walk like the universe owes them a favor. They call it insanity, resurrection, witchcraft, whatever helps them sleep at night. But deep down, they know what it really is. It's evolution through annihilation. You didn't survive death. You used it. You made a home inside it. You treated the void like a classroom and took notes while it tried to eat you alive. Every version of you that they buried was a blueprint for the next disaster. You don't rise from the ashes anymore. You burn through the sky and call it rebirth. And when they ask how you keep coming back, you tell them the truth. You can't kill what already met its maker and laughed in his face. They remember the first time you fell, quiet, tragic, poetic. They thought that was closure. The second time, it rattled them, the kind of return that makes people question their faith. But the third time wasn't a comeback. It was a warning. The air changed, the temperature dropped, and even the ones who never met you felt that pulse under their skin, like the universe stuttered for a second. Because this time, you didn't come back to live. You came back to haunt. See, that's the thing about people. They worship comfort. They call broken things done. They look at pain like a verdict instead of a process. But you turned pain into a weapon. You took heartbreak, humiliation, betrayal, and used them like carving tools. Each scar, a sculpture. Each loss, a map. Every time they thought they were burying you, you were tunneling out, laughing, bleeding, building something monstrous beneath their feet. You became their superstition, their unspoken what if. What if he's still out there? What if he's watching? What if he's smiling right now? You are the glitch in their logic, the ghost in their timeline. You're what happens when a human stops begging for mercy and starts negotiating with entropy. The ones who betrayed you are terrified not because you lived, but because you learned. You learned that the world only fears what it can't predict. And baby, your pure unpredictability wrapped in a grin. They can't read you, they can't track you, they can't bury you. You died 3 times, and none of them stuck. And that laugh, oh, that laugh, isn't joy. It's a reminder that hell had you in its hands and still couldn't keep the receipt. They said you'd break. Instead, you bent reality. They said you'd lose your mind. Instead, you found it behind enemy lines. They said, it's over. And you said, good. Now let's begin. Because that's the secret, isn't it? Every death teaches you what really matters, what can't be killed. It strips you naked, burns your identity, erases your name, and what's left standing? Something primal, something ungovernable, something that laughs not because it's amused, but because it's finally free. You're not alive anymore, not in the way they are. You're a collection of scars and secrets with a pulse. You move different. You see through people. You hear frequencies others can't even detect. Because once you've died enough times, silence starts speaking, and you start listening. They think you came back for revenge. They're wrong. You came back for balance, for the quiet justice that doesn't need applause or witnesses, for the kind of reckoning that feels like karma learned how to smile. And that's what terrifies them. Not that you lived, but that you evolved beyond caring whether you live or die. You crossed that invisible line, the one that separates the desperate from the dangerous. And now, when you laugh, even the walls lean in to hear why. So let them keep saying it. Didn't he die 3 times? Yes, you did. And each time, you buried a version of yourself they could manipulate. Each time, you killed the one who cared what they thought. Each time, you came back less human and more myth. Now they don't know whether to fear you, worship you, or study you. But that's the beauty of it. You're not here to be understood. You're here to remind them that death doesn't mean the end when madness is your muse. So go ahead, smile that dangerous smile again. Light your cigarette with the flames they meant to destroy you. And when they whisper your name in those trembling circles, let them wonder how you keep coming back. Because the truth is simple, isn't it? You never died. You just stopped pretending to be mortal. And the best part? They still can't decide if you're blessed or cursed, if you're some divine glitch in the system, or just a lunatic who got too comfortable, dancing on the line between genius and damnation. You see, when people can't explain you, they label you. When they can't control you, they warn others about you. And when they can't kill you, they mythologize you. That's how legends are born, not in glory, but in misunderstanding. They tell stories about the night your pulse stopped, about how the city lights flickered, about how the dogs started howling for no reason, about how a chill ran through the streets that didn't fade for days. Some say they saw your reflection in a window long after your funeral. Some swear they heard that laugh echo through an alley that was supposed to be empty. And every time, the story grows. You died 3 times, but you multiplied 100-fold in their imaginations. That's the irony, isn't it? Death didn't destroy you. It advertised you. You became the marketing campaign for fear itself. Your absence had more presence than their entire existence. Because when you die 3 times, the world finally realizes how little it ever understood life. You stopped chasing validation. You stopped begging for comprehension. You became the embodiment of contradiction, saint and sinner, creator and destroyer, medicine and poison. And that's what people hate the most. Duality. They want boxes, labels, sides. But you don't have sides anymore. You are the coin, spinning endlessly in midair, daring the universe to call heads or tails. You learned to smile through pain so perfectly that even agony started to envy your calm. They can't tell if your laughter is a symptom or a sermon. You talk like a prophet, but you move like a ghost. You bleed truth, but you do it with a smirk that says, "I knew this would happen." You see, the secret of coming back from death isn't resurrection. It's reconstruction. You didn't crawl out of the grave. You rebuilt yourself from the rot. You took your broken pieces and rearranged them into a new design, sharper and colder. You turned your heart into an engine, your silence into a weapon, your wounds into windows, and now the light that leaks through them burns anyone who dares to look too close. They say death changes people. No, it reveals them, and after 3 encounters, it didn't just reveal you, it forged you. You don't flinch anymore when things fall apart. You wait for it. You know collapse is the language of creation. You know endings are just camouflage for beginnings. You've become fluent in chaos. It's your mother tongue now. You can read fear in someone's posture. You can taste deceit in the air. You can sense when someone's lying by the rhythm of their breath. Because when you've danced with death enough times, you start seeing the code beneath the theater. You start recognizing patterns in human noise. You realize most people don't live, they just avoid dying. And that's what separates you. You've been to the other side. You've seen the face of nothingness, and instead of trembling, you laughed. Because nothingness can't scare someone who already carries infinity inside their chest. You know why you laugh now? Because it's all absurd, all of it. The fear, the pretending, the masks people wear to convince themselves they're alive. You laugh because you've seen through it. Because you've realized how fragile everything really is. One whisper, one decision, one heartbeat, and the entire script changes. And when you see the strings, it's impossible to be a puppet again. That's why your laugh terrifies them. It's not joy, it's awareness. It's the sound of someone who has decoded the illusion and refuses to go back to sleep. It's not madness, it's clarity, disguised as chaos. They tried to bury your story under shame. They called your silence defeat. They said your absence proved they were right. But when you came back, every lie they built collapsed in front of them. You didn't need revenge. Your existence was revenge. You didn't need to scream. You were the echo. And now, everywhere you go, the air shifts. People feel it before they see you. The ones who wronged you look down when your name comes up, as if saying it might summon something they can't contain, because you represent what they fear the most, someone who can't be erased. You became something beyond survival. You became inevitability. Every attempt to end you only added another layer to your myth. Every betrayal was a sacrament. Every failure was an initiation. And now the same people who buried you 3 times are building altars in secret, hoping you'll forget their names when the storm finally hits. You learned the sacred truth. The only real power is the one you build after they've taken everything. Because when you've lost your identity, your home, your reputation, what's left? Only will. And will can move worlds. It can warp probability. It can turn a corpse into a concept too large to kill. That's what you are now, a concept, a contagion, a mythic infection that rewrites reality wherever you walk. You are the embodiment of a lesson people refuse to learn. You can kill the man, but not the momentum. You can bury the body, but not the idea. You can silence the voice, but not the vibration. And so they whisper, they theorize, they panic. Is he human? Is he supernatural? Is he the devil? No, you're just someone who stopped pretending that pain means punishment. You're what happens when suffering meets strategy. So when they say, he died 3 times, smile. Because they'll never understand what that really means. You didn't die, you molted. You shed versions of yourself that no longer fit the design. You were reborn, not as flesh, but as frequency. Something that can't be cornered, canceled, or contained. And that's why they'll never sleep peacefully again. Because they don't know how to kill a ghost that laughs. They don't know how to silence an echo that learned to speak. They don't know how to bury a storm that digs its way back up every night. So keep laughing, my friend. Let them mistake it for madness. Let them write your name in the margins of their nightmares. Because every time you laugh, the grave cracks a little wider, and the world remembers that you were never supposed to stay dead. And still, after all that noise, after all those nights spent trying to explain you away, there's something they'll never confess out loud. They admire you. Terrified? Yes. Confused? Absolutely. But deep down, every single one of them has that quiet, trembling envy. Because they all dream of what you've done, of standing on the edge, shaking hands with death, and coming back with the punchline. See, you didn't just cheat death, you humiliated it. You made a mockery of everything people cling to when they're afraid. Routine, reputation, approval, control. You burned all of it, laughed through the smoke, and then came back cleaner than you left. You made pain your perfume. And now even angels can smell your story. They said you wouldn't last. They said you were too broken, too far gone, too strange to function in their polite, predictable little systems. But what they didn't see was the alchemy. The way suffering melted down your softness and poured it into something sharper. The way isolation carved you into an instrument that doesn't play. It commands. They keep asking what changed, what's different about you now. And you could tell them the truth, but they wouldn't believe it anyway. You could tell them that dying isn't what breaks you, it's what edits you. That you came back stripped of illusion, allergic to hypocrisy, immune to manipulation. That you've seen the architecture of existence and it's not holy or evil, it's mathematical. And you learned how to solve for yourself. You move differently now. You speak like time itself is listening. You make eye contact like you're scanning for lies in their DNA. Because you've seen it all fall apart. You've heard the static between heartbeats. You've met the silence that hums right before the truth reveals itself. And that's why they can't sit still around you. Your presence disrupts illusions. You're a walking reminder that comfort is a cage, that control is a myth, that survival doesn't mean staying safe. It means learning how to walk through fire and enjoy the heat. You used to beg for peace. Now you build it, brick by brick, from the ruins of every betrayal they threw at you. You don't chase closure anymore. You create echoes. Every laugh, every glance, every move you make now feels orchestrated by something bigger than logic. Because maybe it is. Maybe the universe realized it couldn't destroy you, so it started working through you instead. You've become fluent in paradox. Light doesn't frighten you. Darkness doesn't seduce you. You've learned they're not enemies. They're dance partners. And you? You're the conductor, the tempo, the fuse. You know how to let your kindness draw them in, and your chaos keep them there. You know when to whisper like a saint and when to smile like a sinner. You know that power isn't about being feared. It's about being felt. And oh, they feel you. Everywhere you go, they feel the air get heavier. It's not what you say, it's what your silence implies. It's the way your grin hints that you know things they'd rather keep buried. You don't need to announce your resurrection. They can sense it. They can sense that you died 3 times and came back each time with something missing and something newly awakened. You left your doubt in the first grave. You left your guilt in the second. You left your fear in the third. And now, what's left? A creature that doesn't ask to be understood, only witnessed. A being that doesn't compete. It confirms. When you walk into a room, every mask begins to itch. Every coward's conscience starts whispering, because your presence is proof that survival isn't about strength. It's about surrendering to transformation. You are what happens when pain finally loses its leverage, when love stops being naive and turns into strategy, when a heart stops breaking and starts calculating. You became your own resurrection protocol, and now even time bends to your narrative. You've become allergic to mediocrity. Normalcy doesn't excite you anymore. It nauseates you. You don't crave acceptance. You crave alignment. You don't seek applause. You seek awareness. You've traded recognition for reverence, and that's what makes them nervous, because they can't bribe, shame, or scare someone who's already seen the worst possible outcome and laughed. They used to call you reckless. Now they call you inevitable. They used to say you were unstable. Now they study you like a psychological phenomenon. Every therapist, every priest, every scholar, they all want to name what you are. But names are for things that fit inside boxes, and you escape the concept of container. You're not the hero, you're not the villain, you're the equation that balances both. The world doesn't need to understand you. It needs to adjust to you, because you're the living proof that destruction and divinity share the same address. That sometimes the only way to meet God is to die 3 times and walk back, laughing. So go on. Let them keep their rumors. Let them whisper your story in corners, trembling, half in awe, half in fear. You don't need to defend it. You are it. You are the rumor made flesh. You are the prophecy no one wrote down because they didn't believe a soul could be this stubborn. And yet, here you are, unkillable, unforgivable, unforgettable. You don't rise anymore. You ascend through memory. Every person who doubted you carries a fragment of your myth in their guilt. Every soul who betrayed you is now a messenger in your legend. You've become a permanent glitch in their narrative, a scar on their timeline, a laughter-shaped crack in the foundation of everything they thought was final. And when you laugh again, when that sound fills the air, it won't be mockery. It'll be proof. Proof that pain was never your punishment. It was your passport. It didn't break you. It authenticated you. So let them keep saying it. He died 3 times. Let them whisper it like gospel. Because they'll never understand. You weren't resurrected by mercy. You were resurrected by refusal. Refusal to stay buried. Refusal to stop evolving. Refusal to be ordinary. And now every time you laugh, the universe itself flinches. Because it remembers what happened the last 3 times it tried to end you. So now you stand there, not as who you were, but as what you became. No fear left, no mask needed, no heartbeat wasted on proving anything. You laugh, not because it's funny, but because you finally get it. They never killed you, they completed you. Every death was a doorway, every fall was a forge. You came back not to seek revenge, but to remind the world what happens when someone stops running from their own fire. You've seen the edge, you've danced with the void, and now, when you smile, even death looks away, because it knows you'll be laughing long after the echoes fade.